Green Collective, you have something really interesting with your energy going on right now. I perceive glowing about you. There is like a golden glow to you right now. There's something you're doing that's stepping you into your purpose. There's something that's aligning you with your fate. There's this disconnection that you have with your current reality that's enabling you to step forward into a brand new one, an entirely new reality that you have created by your belief in yourself. You believing that such a reality was possible is what's creating this reality. There's this sort of laissez-faire attitude that this collective has, which is very much kind of let it be, or what will be. This is a collective that in the past has been associated with spiders and poisonous insects and like nature in the jungle, specifically carnivorous plants. Carnivorous plants come through a lot for this collective. So there's something that you embody within you that is of the nature of a carnivorous plant, where people perceive this great amount of beauty in you, like with a pitcher plant or the sundew plant. And then when they step closer to you, if they aren't careful, if they get too close to you, if they go where they're not supposed to, like you feast on their energy basically. And I'm really not getting that this is a negative thing. It's kind of like a way of nature thing. It's like you have a defense mechanism and you kind of feast on energy in this way that nourishes you. That is only when people invade your boundaries, only when people go where they shouldn't go, do you have this way of dealing with people that like completely consumes them. And it's a really fascinating energy. Because again, I don't get that there's any sort of like moral wrongness to this, because it's kind of like you're eating bugs. It's kind of like you're eating stuff, you're consuming things that other people don't want anyway. So you also have this way of converting energy that's bad or not good into something good. So if people send negative energy your way, you just eat it up like a carnivorous plant. You can just transmute it and turn it into something good and nourishing for you. It's a really unique gift that you have. You're kind of one of the deadliest collectives that I channel for. Um, I always laugh when I connect with your energy because the green collective that I channel for is not so much the heart chakra green, it's very much the wild jungles, either in like Africa or South America green. It's a very vicious collective in energy. And again, there is something so peaceful about this collective that unless it's activated, will do nothing to harm anyone. Like you guys just exist doing your own thing, and as long as no one gets in your way, as long as no one steps on you or steps like into you, they're fine. It's really only the people that go looking for trouble, those are the ones that find it. So you have this incredible ability to protect ecosystems, I'm hearing, because you have these natural defense mechanisms that activate when people get too close to you or loved ones, and you are able to defend from the shadows. Like you're able to assume a very beautiful form, and then kind of like as spiders do, like you cannibalize them if they get too close, right? If they mess up. So, yeah, it's a really interesting energy. There is something in your life that's been transforming rapidly. I am seeing you as a spider wrapping a bunch of prey up, like maybe not a bunch, but like a large piece of prey up and storing it for later. So there's this feeling that you have been stockpiling things. I don't know if it's energy or gifts or coupons or passbooks. Like I'm hearing quite a few things. You've been stockpiling and saving something, and you're going to be cashing in on it soon. And when you do this, your brand new reality is going to open up even further. You're going to be creating this matrix structure that supports you and a bunch of other ecosystem life forms along with it. And you're going to become this really beautiful biome. And people are going to love exploring your biome because even though you're dangerous, you're just so captivating, collective. Like people love the Amazon rainforest because it is beautiful and wild and dangerous and free. Like people, I mean, people that actually love the Amazon rainforest don't want to tame it. They want to preserve its wild nature, right? So the people that love you also want to preserve this wild nature. There's a lot of like green and red imagery and symbolism that's coming through for you. And again, like poisonous bugs, poisonous plants. But there is just something so beautiful about your poison collective because it's not really poison like of a hunter. It's poison of a defender. It's poison of something that like there's this feeling that you protect what is yours, and so many people in the world don't protect what is theirs, and they get stomped all over, they get walked all over. And so it's this feeling of like a tree, but then the tree gets cut down because it has no natural defense mechanism, right? So even though it's so tough and big and sturdy and tall and established, like it can just get like wilted or taken down because it doesn't have um, enough structure, it doesn't have enough defensive structure to maintain it. But a Venus flytrap is so delicate, yet it is capable of surviving and defending itself from like little bugs and stuff, right? So it's nothing about like large scale destruction with your abilities or your gifts or your powers. It's more, again, it's just like personal little situations, like little tiny flies and nuisances and problems that come your way. You can fix and then you transmute them and then they become yummy bug juice, right? Um, yeah. So you're a collective that also has this really like tropical vibe to them. Um, I feel like your constitution does better in a warmer climate as well. I feel like because so much of this energy is present in your field and in your energetic makeup, like you probably had past lives as some of these plants and animals, and that's why it resonates so much with your soul. Um, you would do better in a warmer climate or more humid climate. You will not do as well in the snow, most likely, because of the constitution of your mind and your like makeup, is what I'm getting. Um, and again, take what resonates, but that's what I'm getting for the majority of you. Your body wants to be in that warmer climate. It also wants to be surrounded by nature. You may be someone that feels extremely disconnected from reality when you are disconnected from nature. You may be someone that is like trapped in a glass prison or like a concrete jungle, and it like enrages your soul because you want to connect back to your roots. You want to connect to Mother Nature, Mother Earth, but you really can't when you're in like a metropolis or you're in a city. So you do better when you're in forests and the trees and stuff like that. And again, more closer to the equator, like humid, warmer. It's not just enough to have trees. There's something about like rainforests in particular that like I feel can be extrapolated out to your social environment, your social and energetic blueprint for environments too. You do best in ecosystems that are very tangled in each other. So you do well with friend groups that are overlapping or with jobs that overlap your interests, hobbies that overlap your interests. Like you don't really compartmentalize the way that a lot of people do. And this is a strength collective because I feel you maybe have been someone that people tried to put in a box. Maybe you've even tried to box yourself, but I feel more this is other people have tried to make you choose things, like choose certain choices, and it's not felt aligned for you. And that's because you are very overlapping. Things are related for you, things are not separate in your mind and in your body. So it's kind of like if someone gives you this task and they say, oh, just do this step, then step two, step one, step this, step that, and they try and list it in this really logical, contained order. It's something, it's like struggles, like you struggle with this. I hear it struggles for you. I don't know why that phrasing is coming through, but um, it's like you'll hit this wall, this barrier, trying to operate and do things the same way that other people do because your mind is so entangled with itself, it is so entangled with the environment. And that makes you, one, a master manipulator. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just someone who has an intrinsic understanding of a variety of variables and is able to twist, change, or shape a situation to suit their needs or other people's needs. Again, that can be used maliciously or with kindness, but you are a master manipulator of your reality, of your environment, of your social ecosystem. You are able to draw connections and connect dots that other people are not able to. And I'm getting like a big wave of heat, actually. This is a very hot collective. I wonder if you guys run warm also. Usually I get more like chills, but I'm just getting like more heat as I'm connecting with this collective. Um, so you are people that benefit a lot from not constraining yourself, from letting your mind wander and letting yourself do things in strange, extravagant, interconnected ways because you create like this jungle of your environment and it's very beautiful. And a jungle is not beautiful because it is organized, it is beautiful because it is chaotic. And so that is kind of your energy. It is this beautiful form of deadly chaos. And people don't really understand or appreciate that until they visit the jungle, until they are humbled by the jungle, until they respect the jungle. But some people are too used to putting things in boxes, in these neat little containers, in this black and white inking, and they will not understand your energy. And so when you rub off against these people, it will irritate them. They will be very frustrated by you because, like, you are encroaching on the borders of their mind, basically. Like, you are collapsing systems within themselves that are kept very separate because I'm getting a very specific messaging on this. Um, People are able to have cognitive dissonance because they're able to separate aspects of their personality and their mental comprehension, right? You cannot have cognitive dissonance when all of you is connected. For example, if you have someone with like, trigger warning, but like schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, or like a split personality, or different like personality fronts, they're able to, they split, parts of themselves split. And yeah, like on a spiritual and energetic level, they are in different quantum states of reality within themselves. And so a lot of people actually operate from these split points of consciousness. They are split from their higher operating self and their lower operating self, and they are like in this more middle plane. And at times they dip into the middle, like lower plane, or into the upper middle plane, and it causes these sort of splits and shifts in them. And when people don't do integration work, when people don't understand their multifaceted natures, they fracture. And then what happens is they make these, there's these like cocoons of beliefs that form in these pockets, and then those beliefs get stuck and stagnant. And so people will have these really rigid belief structures that get activated with certain trigger words, because that trigger word or a condition like a social conditioning opens the door, the floodgates into that specific area of their mind. Okay, this is really weird channeling, but I feel it's important for you to understand this is what spirit is saying. And so when these people encounter you who is very interconnected and who has this intrinsic understanding of like the duality and the non-duality of things, it frustrates them because they have neatly compartmentalized their life. Like they have accepted on one hand, like, oh yeah, rich people are evil, they do bad things. But on the other hand, they're like, oh, but I want to be rich. And then on like this other weird corner, they're like, oh, but I can't be rich because then I'll be evil. Like it's these weird fractured belief systems that make them up. And so when you come along and you're like, it is possible to be rich and evil, and it is also possible to be rich and not evil. It is also possible to be not rich and evil. It's also possible to be, right? Like you're able to segment these things. I'm seeing like this honeycomb structure, but the walls are like paper thin. You're able to segment them for the purposes of understanding and explanation, but you're able to not get lost in the sauce. This is something that's very difficult for most people because they get overwhelmed by this fractured system of understanding. But because you are an ecosystem, and I get this channeling a lot for you guys, is like you are a biome, you are able to hold multiple structures at once without having a conflict of beliefs, because you have reached a point of understanding within yourself to allow for multiple versions of reality, quite simply. You know, you can allow on the one hand that from a bug's perspective, a pitcher plant is quite evil. But from a pitcher plant's perspective, a bug is just food, right? It's not a moral like consequence that the pitcher plant eats the bug. It's just like, well, if that bug wanders into the thing that I have that eats people, that eats bugs, that's on the bug. You know, like I'm just sitting here, I can't move. The bug, on the other hand, has free will, free agency. I can't move though, right? Other than like opening the lid. So there's this like this really interesting concept that you have of human free will, which is what enables you to operate on a different morality and a different plane of existence than most people, because you're able to divorce yourself from the idea of religion, from the idea of good and bad and evil, and you understand that perspective is like the only truth, right? Because only can we understand a truth from our given perspective. um, if you consider that truth is like this 20-sided die, right? And if you turn the die this way and that, it's like the number one, it's the number two, it's the number three, number four, et cetera, goes all the way up to 20. It all just depends what side of the die you're looking at, right? But the die is as much any one of those numbers as it is all of those numbers, right? So you see life as that too. So you have this beautiful piece that you have made with life and coexistence this way. And this is a really hard skill for people to develop. People spend multiple lifetimes trying to understand the nature of truth and reality, because most people only ever stand in one place and wonder, why doesn't this make sense? Well, it doesn't make sense because they're essentially looking at the 2D aspect of life, right? Because if you stare straight ahead and you don't move, you really only see in 2 dimensions. It's not unless you move your head you can see, oh, there's another side to this die, right? So, there's really no way to see what's beyond your current perspective unless you are able to operate on a third plane of existence, or potentially a fourth or a fifth. Every dimension you add allows multiple layers of understanding, because it stacks, it grows exponentially, right? Um, so you're able to do this quite easily, collective. And because of this, other people's laws of morality don't really apply to you in the same way as they do other people. And that's frustrating for other people because they want to apply a blanket statement understanding to you, like, well, this person's evil because blah blah blah, and you're like, I'm not evil, those are jungle rules. Like, that's just how it is in the jungle, right? um yeah, so it's just so fun to channel for you guys, because this is a really rare and unique kind of energy that not a lot of people in existence have this sort of understanding. It takes a lot of spiritual work to reach this point of calm and peace in oneself. It's like to understand, like, destruction is just as necessary as chaos, is just as necessary as peace, just as necessary as building. Like, you understand and appreciate all of it. Like, pain can be just as beautiful to you as pleasure is. All of it is important. All of it is a teacher. It's all just an experience, right? And you are a biome. Always comes back to that. You are a biome. You're an ecosystem. Um, yeah. And to be an ecosystem also means loving every aspect of yourself. You guys love every aspect of yourself, every bitter, incomplete, like sweet, insincere, mean, diabolical, pretty, like every aspect of yourself you like. And you've worked really hard to achieve this point of understanding that, like, your uniqueness is a gift. It's amazing. It's beautiful, and it should be cherished. And like, you will protect this. You will die protecting this. You will not allow other people to take advantage of you, to walk all over you, to shove their beliefs down your throat, to judge your actions. You will not allow that. You won't stand for it. You're not going to seek out like battles, right? But you're certainly going to stand your ground. And I think what's funny is what I'm getting from you, collective, is like, you're saying like the number of people that have picked fights with you because you would not bow down to them, and then they claimed you were the problem. It's like they tried to run you over and you slashed their tire basically, and then they got mad at you, like, why'd you slash my tire, like, why did you do that about it? And you're like, okay, you literally try to drive your car over me, right? Like, you were just being a like a tire. I'm seeing those spikes that say like you can't leave the exit this way or whatever. You can't exit this way from a parking lot. Right. And so it's like you're doing your job. You're just doing what your job is, and it's clearly marked what you do. And then people get in danger basically, or they do something they shouldn't, and then they blame you for it. Um, it's like people trip over you and then they blame you for breaking their foot, when it's like they should have been looking where they were going. Like, you can't blame the tree for the root like causing you to fall. um but yeah, and then they make you out to be this aggressor and this villainous person and this persona of evil, and you're just sitting there thinking, okay, but I didn't do anything. You're the one who encroached on me. You're the one who came to me with a problem. How is it that suddenly I'm the problem? Yeah. It's really funny. Um, but it's also not funny because it's extremely annoying when you're trying to live your life and do your thing. And then people are finding all these problems with you. And it's not because there's a problem with you, it's because there's a problem with them and they can't confront it. I'm getting this really big message for you guys, is like, other people can't confront their problems. And so you're someone who gets put in people's paths. I'm getting big chills. You get put in people's paths to make them confront it, to force them to confront it, right? Like, you're the hot stove that people touch, and then they get mad that they got hurt. And it's like, don't be mad at the lesson. Just learn what the message is from it, right? Just learn what is valuable from the experience. Um, because collective, I'm getting that there's people much worse than you to deal with. Like, if there's people that they could learn lessons from that would be much more difficult to learn from. It's like you're relatively like kind in a way. Um, excuse me. Wow, huge confirmation burp. You're relatively kind in how you teach your lessons because you're very impartial. Like, in general, you don't hold grudges the way most people hold grudges. And the reason that you don't is because you see this like cyclical nature to life. So you see, like, in one breath, it's possible to like be the bug, and then you come back as something different, right? And so it's kind of like all in accordance with purpose. So there's not a point in holding grudges as long as people learn, they take their time to learn, and they learn it, right? Um, and you also, your time is very valuable. Your energy is extremely valuable. I hear like you don't even move a lot because you try to conserve your energy a lot of the time. And so when people make you move or force you into situations that require a lot of movement, it pisses you off and frustrates you because you're like, my time and energy is so valuable. How dare you make me waste it on you? Like, I'll swallow you whole for that kind of thing, right? Um, yeah, but like, why are people poking this bear? Like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel like looking at the situation. Um, so yeah, collective, you're alchemizing and creating this great new reality for yourself. And it's really important you understand these qualities about yourself. It's really important that you don't hate yourself, that you appreciate yourself, but that you do understand people with extremely highly compartmentalized minds will not understand you. They have no capability of understanding you. They have no blueprint for how you operate. And it's very frustrating for them. And I know it's very frustrating for you too at times, but just remember, like, those people will be removed from your path one way or another. Um, but you just have to stick with it. Just keep doing what you're doing, and those people will eventually fall away. When you shift realities like you do, you have to just root in really deeply to your new reality, because imagine like a storm is coming, right? And then your reality is kind of the storm, and that storm can rip you out by the roots. And if you're not properly rooted into whatever your desired reality is, you're going to get uprooted from it and like tossed somewhere else. So it's really important for you specifically that you maintain a vision of where you're going and where you want to be, because just the act of holding it in your mind is powerful enough to shift you into it. Like, I see this sort of scene where there's this plant, this big blooming flowering plant, and it's in the jungle, and like the scene kind of fades out, fades to black, and that, like, that plant is still highlighted, and then the scene fades back in and the plant is somewhere different. It's like this teleportation feeling. But you have to be able to flow with it, collective. And the reason that you can shift realities like this in this really quiet, unassuming way is because of the interconnected nature of things in your mind. Because it's all interconnected, it's easy for you to travel, right? You don't have to hop a plane and go like like 500 feet or 5 miles, or like some unit of measurement. You don't have to go a long distance. You can just shift. So that's the perk that comes from having a mind that's as interconnected as yours is. It's a challenging mind to have a challenging mind to have at times. Sorry, just because of how much overwhelming, fast information comes through. But it's a really powerful tool when you can learn how to harness it. You have to also be willing to give up things that you held on to for a long time, because even though you're a jungle, things still die. You don't have seasons in the same way other people have seasons, but your energy is still important for it to have a cyclical nature, to have life, death, and rebirth. You still need all those phases. One moment. Excuse me. Another confirmation burp. Water is really important for you. You should probably be drinking a lot of water at this time. You should probably be like showering or soaking a lot at this time. Think of yourself as this plant that's getting really hydrated, because I feel like you're getting ready to move. Maybe you're having a physical move like to a new location in your reality, or maybe this is just an energetic move, but like there's a lot happening here. So just make sure you're really hydrated, because when you're using your mind the way that you are, like, I feel the sense of evaporation from you. So you can feel like your energy and your strength is sapped, because as your mind, think of it this way, like the electrical neurons and whatever in your mind are just like firing. And it's not actually fire that is happening, it's like electricity. And think of a water mill, that like how the water goes up and over and it like produces the electricity, generates electricity, right? That, I don't know if that actually generates electricity or power, whatever, but that's like the image that's being shown, is like a water mill that's producing electricity to be stored. That's kind of why you need to keep putting water into yourself, because like your electricity is sustained a lot by water. If you go back to the rainforest metaphor and energy that's in your field, makes a lot of sense. So yeah, let me see what else I have for you here. Okay, I think that's it for this channeling. So if this does resonate for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I always enjoy reading the comments and seeing what's going on in your guys' life. And yeah, so anything other than that, you can also drop it in the comments, because I do read every single one. It does help me to align with your energy as well. When I see that you have a comment, or when you like or subscribe, it helps me tap more specifically into this collective. So sending you guys so much love. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.